Greetings, YouTube. Unemployment in America at the moment is running around 5.8%. I think I heard 5.7 somewhere as well, so I'm not sure if it falls somewhere between those two numbers, which is the low it has been for quite a while. Interestingly, when Romney was running for president, he said that he promised that by 2016 he would get the unemployment level below 6%, while the Obama administration pulled that off in 2 years instead of 4. So there right now, folks, we know that a Romney administration would have sucked even more for America. There's a difference between the two party, folks, believe it or not. And I'm sure that some of us out there who are watching this video have been unemployed in the past. I've been unemployed, but it's been quite a while. I've had my job for 15 years. And when I've been unemployed, I've gone to the unemployment agency, the Employment Security Agency, I believe what they call it now, trying to put a positive spin on the entire event. And I've had the person that was my assigned agent there to help me, who's frankly never been much help, tell me flat out that the best way to find a job is through networking, through the network and web of social contacts that we make over the course of our careers, our job life. I don't think of my job as my career. My job is my job. My career is to become a better human being. And I found that personally to be true. It helps when you know people. Now, it doesn't really have any effect in your life if you're trying to go for a minimum wage job or something around that pay bracket. Fast food jobs, even some of the low-ranking service industry jobs that are above that slightly, those you can just apply for a job and you will hopefully get hired. But if you want something that's going to be something you can live on, that falls into the category of a living wage, having a contact within that industry, or better yet, within that company itself directly, is of great import. I did one place I had I applied to, and I ended up getting a job at. I knew the father of one of the employees, which I didn't know of. It came up in conversation, and I think that helped me. And the type of people who help us are the type of people we know. So the reality is, most of the people I know, as far as in a business capacity, who might help me in a business manner, are white folks. Because I live in a really white part of America. I live in New England. And while we have a great deal more diversity now in 2014 than we did back when I moved into this area in '69, we still don't have as much as some parts of America. And most of the business contacts I have on a daily basis are white people. That's just the way it is. So if I reach out trying to get contacts for a new gig somewhere, the people I'm going to reach out to are going to be mostly white people. And that kind of inclusive networking is the reality for all of us. We reach out to the people we know. We reach out to the people we've had contact with in the past. And in America, the majority of the people in the business industry are white people. And this means the people that aren't white have fewer contacts in the business world. This means the yellow people and the red people and the brown people and the black people don't have those contacts. And anyone that tells you that America is a meritocracy is full of crap. We have never been a meritocracy. We are not currently a meritocracy. And currently a meritocracy is an idealistic fantasy. The playing field is not equal in America. It has never been equal. And with the help of the conservative voter in America, it isn't going to be equal. The GOP and their allies have done everything they can to make sure that there is no functioning meritocracy. It's all about who you know, and know what you know, or how well you do it. And this insidious inclusion is perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with having business contacts of the same class, the same ethnicity that you are. But at the same time, it excludes those that aren't in the same class and the same ethnicity. And it helps to exclude those people from getting in to that class. It keeps them out as assuredly as a sign, whites only, does in a shop window. Now, the whites only thing will get you in trouble. But having business contacts in the same economic class or the same ethnicity as you isn't legal. But it's just as dangerous, it's just as poisonous, just as toxic. And it's just much as an impediment and a barrier to us achieving a level playing field, achieving a meritocracy. And I'll be completely honest with you, I don't know what we do about it. You can't force diversity on people, believe it or not. We can try to tear down barriers, and as people get to know others, they'll realize that they have more in common than they had apart. And that right there is the great danger to the bigots of the world. Because the bigots of the world know that when people start to mingle with each other, when people start to spend their lives with people of different ethnicities, different cultures, different societies, different faiths, different orientations, gender identities, everything else, they'll discover that they have more in common than they have apart. And that is the thing that the bigots fear the most. That we will form the webs of connection where they're trying to foster division. But we need to form those webs across all classes of individuals and across all ethnicities. We need to make sure that we are reaching out to each other in the business world, in the employment world, in the same way we do it in our social lives. But it's tough. It's harder to see. Because when you're talking about those we know, the networks we're connected to, sometimes it's difficult to notice that they're all the same color. Sometimes it's difficult to notice that our base of friends isn't as diverse as it could be. Because amongst my personal friends, amongst the people that I love with all my heart, I don't have a lot of black people. And that isn't because I'm excluding them. It's just because growing up in a very white place, I didn't have a lot of connections to the black community. And while I work with a lot of black people, I don't socialize with a lot of them, and I would be of no use to them in a business world. I mean, I work in a factory. I'm probably not much use to anybody when it comes to getting a job. But the reality is that my web of contacts is very, very pale. And that's true of probably all the people that are in my company in a position to do something useful for others. So what do we do? How do we expand that network? How do we get more of the diversity of America into those networks so that the hiring practices are a better reflection of the demographics in America as opposed to just the networks of those currently in power? I honestly don't know, and I'm looking for some answers. And I'm hoping maybe somebody sees this video and give me a hand.